Hey guys, it did it again. It just, and then I'm not here anymore. I beg your forgiveness again. If you did stick it out this long, kudos. I should buy you lunch. You are at Lady Hippy at the bar, which could be a couple of the problems, but I'm back. So if you see me go out again, no, I'm not coming back today. I've got to get the kinks worked out of this thing. And unfortunately, I seem to have no time whatsoever to do anything. And apparently it could be on a timer at this rate. My husband got me new equipment when I was able to start coming back. And now I can't. I want my old equipment because this is a mess. I've got computers and Chromebooks and tablets and phones everywhere on the bar. I could move them if I had company. So far, I haven't. I saw again where, as far as the new goes, I'm going to try to pop through real quick. I think people again need to use this as social media, social Woodstock. I think it's social Woodstock. Social media just doesn't sound right to me. I get up here and I opine about anything. It could be a near death experience. It could be an out of body experience. We could have found a UFO. We could find out that a politician was dirty. And those are kind of, it's like pirate. Tells you everything, right? So does politicians. It's like the same. There was always, when I was growing up, you don't talk about religion and you don't talk about politics. Now the politics are on their heads and their lawns, on their bumpers. It's like it used to be a secret ballot. I don't know why suddenly we have to, and it's been this way a while, and I just didn't pay attention because I don't like it. The electoral college thingy, which votes, and I loved how President Trump put it, was I won the electoral college vote and I won the people's vote. Now you catching that, right? And I won the people's vote. Why the hell are we voting? If they've done elected him and decided in the electoral college, people keep trying to explain to me, oh, it's because this state has more people than this state. Who gives a fuck? Everybody votes. It doesn't matter. But somehow it does because they got more, so they get two more delegates. So who votes in the American president? I don't have a vote or a say as to what district has what person or whatever you have to be in the electoral college. By the way, this is something else I haven't figured out. I watched it over and over. I researched it just because I'd always blown it off in the past. I'm not a voter. There's a reason I'm not a voter. This doesn't count. If they tell you that the president has been elected through the electoral college vote, then why are we voting after that? I don't get it. I just don't. I don't see the point of standing outside in the rain or in 105-degree temperatures so I can go in and vote when it seems to be a fait accompli before I ever got there. So I never really bothered. I did the first time and I said, what's an elect? I like, what? I was like 17, 18. Um, and being in the army, you could back then that was what your absentee ballot was for because you were in the military somewhere overseas. Now I hear that whole cities and it seems like some states are going to have nothing but the mailed in ballot. Well, no way that could go bad. Yes, you can't make this shit up. I'm like, what the hell? They redid the interviews on what's her name, the Giggle girl, Kamala Harris. Oh my God, that was dodging a bullet, Kamala Harris. It almost won't come out, but I would have paid good money to have seen Hillary's face. A, when she found out Trump beat the shit out of her, and B, when she found out that there was a woman VP. That might have killed her. We ain't heard much from her lately. I don't know. Mm. Forgot to turn my live chat back on. Guys, you can jump in here. All of us have been around this equipment as it was invented. In my day, it was that you try to plug it and plug it back in, unplug it, plug it back in. It worked sometimes. And then you had these, manuals to, okay, try page 12. Back when it was a manual typewriter and shorthand, that's when I learned. And then they took all that away, and the doctors do it themselves. I've got one doctor. that I've had since mine retired. Oh, I don't like this one. It should be in a little microphone recorder so she can put it in later. Meanwhile, these were jobs. These were thousands of jobs. I used to do that. I used to do it with headphones, and they would record whatever it was that needed to be put into the patient's records, and I would translate that. Type it all up, put it all in, and start on the next set. Those were jobs, and they were good paying jobs. They were. We felt we were doing a good thing. To quote Joy Reid, we thought we mattered until the computers and AI is now the new thing. But thousands of us were placed out of work. God, um, I looked around like, what the hell? I don't know. We may not have a job. Civil service can't be taken. Yes, the Clintons shut us out of civil service. You could go as temporary. You could get a job as a temporary, anything just about. What? You couldn't get a regular job. And if you did, they wouldn't take you for long. If you were coming up on starting to get close to where your benefits were, oh, it was cutback time. And before you could put your shit in your box, it was another one coming to your desk. And this is what I put up with from the time I returned. I did fine in the 80s. They didn't change it so much. But by the 90s, I would say at least by 95, 96, we were so screwed because all of that had started being applied. We here in Georgia got two of the bases here from San Antonio. Which I was shocked. We had in San Antonio when I was there. There was Fort Sam Houston, Lackland, Kelly, and I forget the other. There were four Air Force bases and an Army base that were all training bases. I think they only have one there now. I'm not sure. I love Texas. It just killed me. I went back 3 or 4 times, and it just killed me to move to Georgia. But I've seen what's been going on in Texas in the last year and a half that the governor's had to deal with. It's just scary. It's frightening. Finally, CNN and them also finally did a report on the woman, bless her heart, uh, a true refugee from Ukraine. I mean, running from war where they're killing everything. She's on a train. She's quiet. Nobody around her. This guy's sitting behind her. You can see he's on all kinds of drugs. And he gets up with his knife and he stabs the woman 2 or 3 times. And they blurred it in the neck. She died. Then they show him walking on to get out. He just walks off the train. Meanwhile, he's dripping blood. He had stood there and did that right in her neck and was just covered in blood. It was just, and it's this guy that's a homeless man, and we don't want them to take away sympathy from him. What? This was supposedly why they hadn't put the information out or showed the clip or anything, is because they wanted to make sure nobody killed this guy. What? I don't know. News is news, and it's goddamn news when somebody from behind the girl who had her phone, she didn't even know he was there probably, and stabs her 3 times in the neck and kills her. I think she's 23, 25. And this guy's now he's going to get in there. He's got 3 cots in a, or 3 hots in a cot. Yeah, so he don't have to worry about anything anymore. Watch Escape from New York, because I swear to God, New York looks just like that movie. Everybody, it seems like, but maybe 15 people are something bad. They're smashing and grabbing. They're accosting people and grabbing phones. They're using their scooters and going by and clipping the purses, and now it's come to my town. I went to our we've got, this is the longest I've been anywhere in my life that I've stayed in one house and in one spot in my life. And you get used to things after a couple of decades almost. So, we go to the big Walmart, which is my husband's store, and I used a little grocery one that's a couple miles away. So we go to the big one because it has stuff that the other one didn't have, and we got to get it. And sure enough, we go in, and I said, I'm going to peel off here, and I'll meet you in makeup kind of thing. Oh, God. So I peel off. I go over there, and he manages to catch up to me while I'm there. I finally get a person who's the key, because now suddenly all this is locked up behind plexiglass or something. And she gets the key, and she gets the one, and the other one's on the other side. It's got to have a key, too. And she opens it, and she gives me the mascara. And then she goes to lock it, and the entire assembly comes down. The whole plastic thing, whatever that is, comes off of the rail. And I'm thinking, well, that's not going to help much. I think that somebody's at the door because my husband's fast coming down the stairs. I do think I heard the door. Right now, I don't have a studio. I was making myself a studio out of the second. We have three beds and baths here, and I was going to take the one. It's already an apartment kind of thing, and add some soundproofing, and I would have the studio. That didn't come about because those were the stairs I fell down that put me in a bed for 10 months in surgery for 15 hours or something. I mean, so I don't have a second floor, which means I still gonna because I started here at the bar. At that time, the bar was new, and we had just taken everything upstairs and added it. We're not young. We had thought perhaps that my grandson would help out. He did help bring the new bar in. It's a huge bar. He did help plant the TV, hold it so could mount it on the wall. He wants to mount mine because we have separate bedrooms because he survived stage four throat cancer, and he snores really loud. And as a favor to me, after like 2 years or 3 years, he was always up there. And I said, why don't you just sleep in the man cave and come down when I can get up? Because I don't go to sleep till 12, 1 o'clock. And my cats get me up between 6 and 7. Now, I don't know. It doesn't matter. The outdoor cats, the indoor cats, we're a sanctuary. They only have a kill shelter. If you bring an animal into the place, they're dead within 12 hours. If it's a pregnant cat, it's dead within 15 minutes. So we just couldn't do it. And my husband spends a fortune just buying food. It's not like we fill up a thing and set it out there. No, I fill it up and I mix in the wet food, and then I take it out and I put it on little bowls, and I change the water 2 or 3 times a day. And several of them are very bold. They'll rub my hands and feet. So I was here, but it's been something else, I'll tell you. And unfortunately for me, it broke my heart. I lost 5 cats in the span of a month, and we do not know what happened. We don't know. Before I could even get to a vet, they were gone. And it just, I was kind of weak still from all the stuff I've been through. So I like sobbed for a week. It didn't change anything, of course. But here, and I still feel that they were trusting themselves to me, and I'm not a veterinarian. And it was during holidays and things like we just couldn't get them there fast enough. Nobody, you could get a number that said call this number, so I lost them, and 3 were just kittens. One minute they went from running around and climbing on my back to gone already underneath the dresser and things like this. And I just wouldn't let it go. And I worked on it, each of the kittens I worked on all day long. I tried everything except shocking them. But, I just couldn't believe that I had lost these kittens. And every cat we've gotten, and we have several in the house, they were all kittens. They were all wild, but they were kittens who were dying. They didn't have food, they didn't have water. The last one is Fluffy, I call her, and she was blind. She couldn't see, and she was trying to get to the food, and the other ones were blocking her, so she couldn't go over, and she couldn't see. And we saw this on the porch, and we immediately grabbed her. But all of them were rescues. All of them had to be literally saved. Their lives had to be saved. There are other cats outside. We don't have to pick them up because they're okay. They're fine. They just come for the food, the water, and say hi. But my guys, the ones that we've adopted over the last 5 years, they all had medical problems that would have died had we left them. So it was a real shock to my system, I got to say. And of course, if anybody wants to donate to help the cat sanctuary, I will put up an LLC or something. But it's amazing to me how many people think that they don't care, other than don't feed them because they'll have more babies. And they're starving, they're panting for water. And yet well, if you keep doing that, they'll get babies. Well, good. Maybe somebody, there's a good Samaritan, like it was spoken of by Jesus, then they'll give them some water. And this is my house, this is my land, and it's my money. And if you get in my face again, you're not going to be happy when you get away from my face. I'm not a pleasant person sometimes. And I hate anyone that would not help somebody or something that was helpless. That's what God put us here for. There's a reason. Now, no, I'm not a vet, but I'll look that shit up all day long and pay to talk to a vet if I can't get a vet. And we've saved all of these cats. They were all dead or dying really when we took them in. And it was life touch and go, and they've all been neutered and spaded. But it would help a lot if the veterinarian clinics would do it for $75 or so a cat, not $480 for each cat. And I've looked all around my city. We finally found one in a city called Thompson, just about 2 hour drive from us, and they're reasonable. They're 75, I believe it is. And I need to call them. We got one more. He walked back in. He got out, and I named him Penny. And we had four kids at the same time. One was Miracle because she was hanging, and I'd heard her yelling, and I just said, kept saying, "It's okay. Here comes some more food." She was hanging by the strips of the tarp that was up on there, so it would provide shade. She had gotten in there, and her leg, she had nearly cut it off, and so she's Miracle because we patched her up, and I kept her in sedation for a week or two, and then started to let her move around, and we had to change the bandage so much. And I didn't think I thought for sure I would lose her, and she was okay. Penny was another one that was trapped, so she was cut, brought in the house. Um, Fast Walker, who we call the nipper, because if he doesn't get enough attention, he'll nip you. Um, so he was brought to the door in the middle of a thunderstorm that people saw in the road, and they said, "Would you take it?" And my husband was like, "We can't do this. We can't keep taking these guys." And this one had barely opened its eyes, had its umbilical cord. And they said, "Okay," and they turned to go. And my husband said, "Well, what are you going to do with it? Even the shelters are closed now." And they said, "We're just going to put it back in the road." And he said, "No, you're not." He took the kitten, and then we had Gizmo, who was outside prancing around, but he was going blind as well, and he'd injured a leg, and he was just a handful. And my husband scooped him up and brought him in. So all four of those little ones were raised together. And when we have it, I I call it Kitty ICU. The master bedroom is where all the sick ones go because that's where I can handle things. Is everything's got room, and they're separated from the main area of the other cats who are grown. So it's also cute to say, okay, we're going to let you out and let you run around the property. Right now, we have Fluffy. She's the smallest one, and our last rescue, and she was the blind one. And she can see now. She does all kinds of shit. She's amazing. So I'll open the doors. There's two bedroom doors because you can go through the master bath. I do that because I can catch the men before they get in there to scare the other cats, throw them back out, and then open the door to the bedroom. So it's a two-door system. She will come out and she'll look at them and she'll smile and then she'll hiss at them. And then she'll run out. It's just so cute. But they run right back in. The one before her, my husband threw her on my broken leg. I've been calling her Puddin'. She answers to Puddin'. And I thought she would be the last rescue, but then we got Fluffy. So right now I still have Miracle, Puddin', and I have Fluffy. Now, I call her Fluffy Nutter or Fluffy Butt because she's so fluffy. And those guys still will not come out. So those three are always in the master bedroom. And the rest take up the rest of the house. When I'm trying to clean every day, I have to pick up a cat. No, we don't have 100, but we have a lot of cats, and we saved all of them. And I can't believe that people would be so horrible as to hurt one. Yet every time we see two or three of the females that do stay in the area, they have kittens. We don't know where they are. Sometimes they'll come to me, and I'll try to find the mother and get her back or whoever. But suddenly the kittens all disappear. I'm hoping that people are adopting them, but I have no idea why the kittens disappear. There's only one kitten besides Fluffy that we rescued. There were three or four batches of kittens, And they have certain areas around my yard where they're safe. They're safe from storms and so forth, and they can keep them out of sight. So I don't bother any of that. And bless their hearts, they went through the hurricane out there, and there was at least two sets of babies during the hurricane. And of course, that they we believe they got up in the wheel wells of the big. It's like a Wonder Lodge RV we've got, huge thing. I can't travel well, and my husband still has family, but they're in lower Georgia, middle Georgia, like Macon, and then Florida, and I can't do that. Traveling like that anymore. My back is too bad. Deterioration. And I'm not doing so far anymore. Still than what they have in my leg and ankle. That's not fun. So enough about me today. Giving you small backgrounds to those of you who don't know me, and maybe you can make some sense out of that. I doubt it. I don't know also why we are not talking about what is going on in this country. It's got to stop. I've watched other countries, all of them are having the same problems. People are all screaming, they're in the streets, they're Palestinians, it's Sharia law, your country's our country. It's as if they're wanting us to attack them. To me, it's as if they're trying to and doing a good job of fracturing our laws, our country. I believe if Trump had not won, I don't know what was Joe poor man, but somebody was running us into the ground deliberately. Somebody was completely tanking America. I have a problem saying United States anymore. The United States is a phrase that was coined during the Civil War, or well, after the Civil War, because again, those states came back. President Davis was no longer president. South lost. Yeah. So that was why the United States of America, because of that war and the wind of the north of the war. And right now, you can't get from hardly one city to the next because you've got sanctuary cities everywhere. Well, that's treason. That's not federal law. It's not. It's not. Their federal law is saying you can't do that. They doing it. It's as if they want uh, them to sick the guard or whatever on them. They did send the guard through it, and he's the president. He has to maintain our capital, and he deployed the National Guard. This is what their job is, people, is to do things like this, disasters and so forth and so on. That's what they're here to do. That's what they train to do. That's why they're not regular army. They're not deployed to Korea. They're deployed to Georgia or Florida, whatever. Uh, I found out that they were running around, FEMA's running around and giving people so much money. But if you had or believed in MAGA or what have you, they skipped you or just threw your information away. So those people didn't get help. I saw where the insurance companies, you gotta love that. You get an insurance company, you gotta pay the insurance company because you buy the house, you gotta have the insurance. You pay, you pay, you pay. That shit gets all goddamn screwed up in a hurricane. And they come in with $40,000 estimate for repairs. And you get one guy independently with your own money to come and look at this because you're like, I don't know how 4,000 can fix this. And they come in at 480,000. It actually went to Senate committees that obviously they're looking into it. These insurance companies are nothing but scams backed by the government to pay people money that don't give a fuck about you or your property that you're paying to protect. All they care about is, oh no, no, and there were also people that were testifying in that panel that were saying that everybody is low bomb. That's why they make that money. So if you've got $100,000 in damages, they'll tell you it's a tenth of that. So it's 10,000 in damages, and that's all they give you to repair it. You're going to come up with the other 90,000, or say fuck it, walk, and then bank wants you, and then you don't have credit. You can't get a house, and it's the same thing with taxes. Elon Musk came out, and I don't know if it's to scare the damn shit out of everybody. I'm newly retired. My husband has been retired since he had cancer and beat that. But there's supposed to be something coming. Everybody's saying that something's coming in September, and somebody has to tell the older generation that they're not going to get their money. It's going to stop. Oh, we're going to get our money. um, Yeah, that's not something they want to do to what they call the baby boomer generation. I call us hippies. But yeah, I digress. But that's what's supposed to be coming. And it was, do this and buy that and go for this and do that. People who are, it doesn't matter whether you're on a fixed income or if you work 8 to 5, you're one check away from going, oh, fuck. Yeah, you know they're not putting you up at the Roosevelt. They find room in a house and get 15,000 people in there, they'll pay them, but you ain't getting in there. And that to me is treason. It's beyond fucking treason. It's treason on steroids in your face, fucking treason. When these stupid little bitches are running around campus, shitting in buckets in a tent somewhere. Where the hell are the parents going? I fucking paid $100,000 a semester for you to go here. Get your ass to class, and mine would immediately let me know. Oh man, mom, you would have killed man. Oh yes, not the money. It's not the money thing I'm talking about. It's the fact that they're saying river to the sea shit and all this stuff. Then I found out this morning that there are books in schools that are pro-Palestinian and anti-Israeli, and this is from K to 12. This isn't even college, okay? This is kinders. I saw the books. Oh my fucking god! Yes, I still tend to swear a lot. Like no kids. Hopefully, this won't end before I finally get to sign off because I'm close to it from what I can add up before. It's getting stupid, guys. I don't know how many mosques you're seeing. It's like Tony Robinson, Terry Robertson. I think it's Tony Robertson. They keep chunking his ass in jail because he keeps trying to fight and say you can't do this. You're tearing up our country. These people are stealing. They're raping. There's gang raping going on in London of all places, and they don't even arrest these people. It's the girls wanted this. It's just there's no cash bail. You walk in, they say you're guilty of this, go to court if they give you court, and you're back on the street in 5 minutes. You just smashed and grabbed from Cartier. They don't give a shit. And now, like I said, my Walmart's got them up. Not very good ones. Hopefully, they fix that one. But it shocked me because I don't see the amount of uh, aggression. I just didn't understand it. I don't go out a lot, but I had not heard on the news or anything that there was any smash and grabs going on in this city. But it could be because I quit watching what they call news. It was all political and it was all skewed. I don't know what the hell it was. Uh, I didn't want my granddaughter to go to school anymore, especially when I heard all that today. And it's not my daughter, it's my granddaughter. So I can't say anything. And I fear for the parents because they don't have a choice. But they have been able to, and she doesn't, she hates it. I don't blame her. And yet here we're trying to get her just through the last 4 years. She's just not going into high school. And luckily, we have this medium and they can teach them at home most of the time. I think she goes into classes twice a week. And I hold my breath till she's back home again. Because that's what they do. These terrorists, they don't try to get out there and attack an army base that's got light ammo. They're going to attack this kid, the school bus that's got, 40 kids, 40 helpless kids on it. You can't do that. But they are, and they're getting away with it. I saw where they did it again yesterday. I'm probably going to be on a little longer at this rate. Mm. The apple has a punch. I thought the cinnamon did. Woo. My husband always makes me eat before I get up here because he knows I'm going to hit this hooch. It's the one place I can go for an hour or so. And leave me alone. And the way I've angled the camera, and this is why I'm not behind the bar and you're looking at, say the bar, you're looking instead, in the other direction. It was the only way I could edit out some of the people going in and out the doors. Because like I said, after I did this fall and I just come back, I'm not going upstairs. They could make that the best soundproof room in the house, and they could. I mean, it might be just beautiful, but you're not getting me up there. All three times I've fallen down those stairs, I'm holding the rail. Suddenly I'm airborne, and it's as if somebody has done this behind me. And there's no one there, but I've been thrown down the stairs, and all three times I broke bones. The third time was really bad. It took uh, the what do you want to call the paramedics? I call them drivers, because they sat there, and I kept screaming because they didn't know what to do. They never did stabilize the leg for a while. This is standard procedure. I don't know why they didn't. So I'm still on the floor holding myself up with a cushion behind me. One of them did get a cushion, and they had to wait for another person to come to administer something for pain so they could move me. You could see that the leg was broken in several places. There was no doubt, no, and I guess that's why they didn't try to stabilize it and allow it to move. And it was, well, I'm going to give you this amount of fentanyl while we roll you onto a sheet, and then we're going to pick up the sheet, and we're going to go out the door and put you on the gurney. And I'm like, this is your fucking plan. Fine, I don't go. Just let me into a hospital so somebody can set this. But they couldn't do that because it was hugely swollen. It was massive damage, and they did get me out though. They had the sheet. They picked me. I screamed the whole time. I'm not gonna lie, I screamed the whole time. And they get me in there, and I said, "Okay, you said something else. Yeah, it's time for number two here." I waited 2 hours to get any help to get out because the way I'd fallen was in front of the doors where I landed, and my husband had turned all kinds of stuff over here on the side of the house, tools and so forth, that they couldn't get the gurney down there to the back door. I don't know why they didn't come through the other gate, come across the patio. But that's how they did it. And so finally, I mean, I give them credit. I don't know what that fentanyl thing is. I hear it on TV, and here it goes again. But it worked. I stopped screaming, and I was so surprised. I went suddenly, "Hey, I'm not screaming." I didn't scream except for when they tried to move me or touch me. That didn't go well. The doctor come up, and she said, "They say your leg is broken," and she grabbed my leg, and I screamed and said, "I'm going to look for you when I get better, and I'm going to kill you." She believed me. I believed me. So I'll have to go with that. It was fentanyl talking. But when they showed me the x-ray, it's like, oh my God. I knew that it was going to take 8 to 10 months to heal. I had to have surgery. All that took a month for the surgery to be done. We had the hurricane come through with the tornadoes in the backyard. We had a good time. No power for a couple of weeks with a woman who has not. I was never put in a position where the leg was stabilized. They put this little bit of plaster Paris along the back of the leg and to the bottom of the foot. Um, and then they wrapped it with ace wraps all the way up, and that was steadying me. That's how I had to live. Even after the surgery, they did the same thing. So you can't put anything on that leg for several. Well, for me it was 10 months. You cannot put any weight on it. How are you going to get around? Mind you, I hadn't been on crutches since God knows how long, and I would get up and I'm running, catch me. No, it was like 2 seconds. Catch me, catch me. By the time I finally got done, we had the wheelchair, we had the scooter, we had all this stuff. Had the shower, we had a shower chair, we had all that because Robert had gotten very ill. And I was so glad when he took it all away. I was like, yes. But it's getting late, guys. I can see. I'm sure I'm about my hour's time. So come and see me, you guys. Hit subscribe, hit the like. They like that shit. I don't know. I've told several people about it, so I wish y'all would get on the ball and give me a hand. I don't have any family other than my husband's family, but take pity on a woman here. Uh, Technically, don't even take pity. Get him here and talk. Why should all the? I couldn't believe how many new podcasters there were out there in that 10-month hiatus I took. Unbelievable. And I don't think any of them are any good at it. I didn't hear. I mean, I checked in just to see, just to, hey, it's a podcast. I'd like to support it. Yeah, and I couldn't. It was awful. And they say prejudice is something that uh, others are doing. I'm not going to give it categories. I don't care if you're pink and polka dotted. When you get into an accident or something and you're having to have blood because you're dying, you're not going to say, I need that white blood. I don't want anything else. I want the white blood or the Polynesian blood or, Ukrainian blood. That's not how it goes, folks. And I thought by the time the 21st century rolled around that there was no such thing anymore as bigotry. Oh my God. There's not just bigotry, there's just whole right out racism in your face on steroids. I think I said that already. And it amazes me. I also find it amazing that no one stands with Israel. What the fuck is the UN for? What the fuck all is NATO for? NATO, I can say to say. But the UN, then how much money did we spend to get them USAID? Because they don't want to say USAID. Yeah, well, we built those tunnels that bigger than the London Underground. Damn good use to that money. We didn't have too many homeless to worry about, so we just take care of everybody else is homeless. Mind you, they put these people on fucking planes and landed them at 2 or 3 in the morning, and buses took them here, there, and everywhere. What the hell? I wanted to go over to Texas, walk back across the Rio Grande, and tell them my last name was Rodriguez. I didn't know I don't have no ID. If I had a shot, no, I ain't had no shot. I'm just trying to get away. The gangs are bad over here. Give me a free vacation at the hotel. Dye my hair black. Speak broken English. I've seen New York City though, so I wouldn't want to go back up there. I had a layover there one time when I was active duty. I was like, and there was 4 of us. I was like, we don't go nowhere without each other. I think it was a 2 day hiatus there, and we thought, okay, we're going to go see things like the Brown Derby and all that. We got out of that hotel. We walked like 2 blocks. We said, okay, let's quick step this shit back. And thank God they had a bar. So we ate and drank at the bar without leaving because it was just too dangerous. And that was in the fucking 80s. And this has gotten worse. And you have a problem with a president who says you can't be homeless and live at the Lincoln Monument. Have you seen anything of DC? None of that should be going on there. If you're going to take care of indigenous people, you need to take care of indigenous people. You need to worry about the outsiders later, if at all. If you weren't giving them everything for free, including housing, money, food, education, medical, and California is one of the worst at this. Chicago, I saw the mayor. Oh my God. Not to mention all the lawyers when they were up there going, no, well, we're a sanctuary city. We want to help everybody. I wanted to get in my car, drive up there and slap him. Just keep slapping him. What is your opinion now? Just slap him again. Slap him again. And slap him one more time. That was just one of them. I'm from Chicago, Illinois originally when I enlisted. But I didn't want to live there. Way back when I was 16, 17 years old, I got to get the hell up out of here. And I did, and I never looked back. The most I had, I thought at that time, and I thought about it, the most time I spent one place was San Antonio. And now it's Georgia. I've managed to stay put for the last 20 years. So that's a record for me. It also gives you an idea of how old I am. Well, I think everybody's heard enough of my ranting and raving. Get up here, talk about it. If you're mad at me because I don't think we need Sharia law, say so. If you have seen the videos of the women who have escaped these Arabic states, set it down in there. Let's talk about this stuff before they tell us we can't. This is social Woodstock. We have got to use this medium. We have got to talk. There's going to be another election again. It just it's the second term, but now I'm not talking about the presidential one. And we don't need to lose no seats apparently because that's when they tie you up for the rest of your presidency. I get back to that again. I'm still not sure. And when I was growing up, and I'm not a child here, you just didn't talk about politics. You did not talk about religion. Nobody broke out in fights. Suddenly, for the last 15 years, nobody's talking about anything but. You cannot find a channel that is not talking about politics. Oh, they're left wing. Oh, they're far left. They're far right. I don't give a shit. They sound like fucking idiots. They look like fucking idiots. And for God's sakes, why are you electing a Palestinian to Congress? I don't care if she was born here. And give the woman a razor for God's sakes. And what's with Maxine Waters? How much longer is she going to wear that damn wig? It's already falling apart. She needs a new one. She's got plenty of money. Ileana Omar, the one that I can't think of where she's from, but I think it's Somalia. And she said we were much worse than there. Well, get you. We ain't holding you. And yet she's a member of the House. No way. These people are up there going, well, your law doesn't do this, and your law, and they're yelling at people. And I took offense a lot at these women, and they're the gang and all that. Get your ass out of my country. They have committed treason on a basis that would make everybody go pale if they understood it. Look at what these people are saying. Apply it to your grandchildren. And then you tell me you're not afraid of this bitch. You ought to be. They now have pro-Palestinian books in kinder through 12. What the hell? I saw prayer mats laid out. Church and state are not, they're separate. And that's why. It's too much out there. And I saw them taser and pepper spray parents who were trying to protest. I saw all this shit. Get up here. Let's use this medium. Let's talk to each other. Just leave a comment. It don't matter. I live chat on all the time. Um, I don't think even 1,000 viewers, but again, I just got back after a 10-month hiatus and I jump from topic to topic. I don't really, it says anything and everything. In other words, whatever crosses my little tiny mind is going to be talked about, at least by me. So come on in, talk to me, see me. Let's use the medium the way it should be used. And that is to take our time and show what is wrong suddenly with America and fix it for the love of God before you can't anymore. I fear Trump leaving office, and I didn't vote for him. I've agreed with everything he's done. Hell, though, I did like Hillary's reaction when she found out that he had named it the Gulf of America. That was so funny, and I love Pocahontas. But mind you, she got hundreds of thousands of dollars of loans and so forth and so on because she said she was an indigenous American, a Native American. Old Pocahontas was not an American. She was from somewhere else. I don't know. And stop putting these bitches in my Congress. If they can, what's the other dude? I think he's Somali too. We brothers are getting together. We'll be able to go to our. They don't need to be here. They're not supposed to be changing my laws, my customs. They're not supposed to be stealing, grabbing, destroying, raping. And for God's sakes, don't give me any prison time. Make sure they're at the Roosevelt instead. Basically, people, when you revote or voting, whatever it is, uh, you need to get rid of these people. But personally, I think they should have all been removed from offices, their assets frozen while their ass was sitting in a stockade while they were being tried for treason. Because I tell you what now, they make Benedict Arnold look like a Boy Scout. Pay attention, folks. Also, if you get a chance, catch Victor uh, Davis Hanson's podcast. He's great. Just Victor Davis Hanson, you'll pull him up. Douglas Murray, if you've never heard of him, he's another great guy. Pull him up if you're bored. These are two good guys that just about know everything and been there, done that. They're very good speakers. They're excellent men, and I enjoy both of them. Uh, Joe's got a little out of the box lately, but not in a good way. He was a really good podcaster, but I've been seeing him bring people on to do this kind of attack thing back and forth. And I didn't like the way they treated Douglas Murray. when he was on. But he's a good podcaster most of the time. If any of you have any comments or anything you want to talk about, throw it in the comments. And then when I get back in, sometime I'll do the editing today. I will pull that up or we'll discuss that up here. I have so many. I only went through, I think, half of my viewers yesterday. Most of them are catching me, I believe, at different times and different dates, not on the live channels. And again, that's probably because it's morning. But I'm going to get out because I don't know how it's cut out before, but I came back. So if you do see two of these and I'm in the same clothes, it means it cut me out and I came back. And I did not edit, I did not paste. I just said, fuck it. Here you go. Come and see me. And for God's sake, share, tell your friends, come up with some stuff to talk about while we can. They're going to try to stop breastfeeds too. And look at what's going on in Britain. They're not good. It's not good at all. But in the meantime, guys, have a great day. Come and see me. Leave a comment. Bye.